the announcement on the challenge by Scott Milanovich. Still awaiting the word on that. An interference call and a 26-yard gain. Well, that'll be if the decision does stand. Manny Arsenal interfered with by Travis Hopkins. Referee Tom DeLacy still awaiting word.
Saw at the end of the replay.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Pass interference, Toronto number 30. First down.
We saw at the end of the replay, left arm kind of behind the back of Emmanuel Arsenal, which I'm sure is the deciding factor. I think from the Argo perspective, the argument was that he didn't grab him as they went up for the football, but it's a tough call to overturn once it's made.
Puts the Lions on the move, though, inside the 30. It's Hawkins, who has the one touchdown in this game with his second catch, and it gets inside the 25 after a gain of 6.
We've seen the full package from Jonathan Jennings and the impact as well of Lavelle Hawkins on this BC Lions offense. A lot said going back several weeks, even before Jennings took over as the starting quarterback. That shuffle in the receiving core. Hawkins coming off the injured list. Burnham coming into the lineup. Arsenal moving from the outside to the inside.
And on second down, swinging it out to Chris Rainey, who had a touchdown and a big one last week against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And down close to another first down. We call it about 4. It'll be very close, but Rainey's been a great pickup for BC after he spent his first year in the league with the Alouettes last year, mainly in the return game, but can certainly add to the offense as well. And looks like the field goal unit is being sent on. It's just a little bit shy of a first down spotted at the 21.
So true, Rod, what you say about Chris Rainey. I thought he was a real catalyst for this team last week, provided them with great field position on a return to set up one touchdown, and that electrifying catch and run for a touchdown of his own. A big one that I think has prevented him from being considered a secret weapon offensively for them anymore.
The field goal attempt, much better for Richie Leone that time from the 28 after missing the point after earlier. 3 more on the board for the BC Lions, also joined tonight down on the sideline. Matthew Shinetti. Matthew?
Rod, as Dwayne was mentioning, yes, Ricky Ray's shoulder strength is something to watch for, and after that, it's the chemistry with his new receivers. And as he told us this week, it's on him during the game to evaluate what Nadal Hazelton, Deontay Spencer, Kevin Elliott, and Phil Bates do. And then when he sees how those guys move in their routes, where they break, how they deal with certain situations, it's his job, he says, to get them the ball. And we've seen what Ricky can do with a whole bunch of new receivers, because remember last season he had a touchdown pass to at least 15 different Argos receivers. Guys?
Matthew, that's so true. Such a different dynamic this time around with Ray, the one who's been out. Last year it was a revolving door of receivers, as Ray only missed 1 game. That was at the end of the season, and completing that pass on first down for a pickup of 5.
Ray's pass to number 85, Deontay Spencer.
You look at what Ricky Ray has done over the course of his career, first as an Edmonton Eskimo and more recently as a Toronto Argonaut. The thing that's always stood out has been the efficiency of Ricky Ray, that career all-time leader in completion percentage, 5th all-time in yardage.
And looking for his 100th career win as well. And completing another pass for a first down Argos after Deontay Spencer caught the previous pass. It's Nadal Hazelton moving the chains with that catch up across the Argo 45.
Well, not a long pass, but Ricky Ray showing a little bit of zip on this one. I love the courage of Nadal Hazelton. He knows that hit's coming. He's going into the teeth of the defense right here. Great focus to hang on to that football and move the chains.
That was the first Argo first down, by the way. 3:26 to go until the end of the first quarter. As Ray just dumps it off to Brandon Whitaker, and makes a nice move at Adam Bighill and gets big yardage inside the BC 45. And this is the farthest the Argos offense has gone tonight, with back-to-back first down and a gain of 18.
You don't see Adam Bighill miss a lot. He's the middle linebacker. He's keeping an eye on Brandon Whitaker in that backfield. Check down underneath route. Whitaker just freezes him right here. Big Hill, CFL's leading tackler, doesn't even get a hand on him.
Whitaker's been a good weapon for the Argos on the ground and through the air as well, with those, especially the yards after the catches. Ray steps up and he's gone to work again. First catch of the day, Anthony Coombs. And watch this, back-to-back first downs for Toronto inside the Lions 35, a gain of 12.
Brandon Whitaker follows up a nice little catch and run with a good job in terms of that blitz pickup. He's got to come across the formation when he recognizes secondary blitz coming. He steps in to get that, allowing Ricky Ray to step up, deliver that pass.
Late first quarter, Ray and the Argo offense finally on the move. In field goal range and trailing by 9. Ray stepping and dumping it off again. And Coombs on the receiving end again. Good gain on first down. It'll be second and short.
Anthony Coombs, the number 3 overall pick in that 2014 draft. Former University of Manitoba star. Along with Chad Owens, is a guy who could start to see the ball a whole lot more with the return of Ricky Ray. We know that the short passing game is something that's been a signature Ricky Ray, particularly since joining the Double Blue.
One of the Argos Winnipeg natives who would dearly love to get back there in a few weeks' time for Grey Cup 103. A lot of work to be done before then for the Argos, though, as Ray throws that away. And it'll be a field goal situation coming on now for the newcomer Jake Rogers, who made his debut last week in Hamilton. Has set a revolving door of kickers for the Argos. Now to the University of Cincinnati, where among his teammates in college, a certain quarterback now with the Hamilton Tiger Cats by the name of Zach Collaros. Ball spotted at the 34 for Jake Rogers to put the Argos on the board. Up and through it goes. 1:15 to go until quarter time. And the best showing easily in this game for that Argonaut offense. And finally, some points generated by their offense, too, after being shut out last week.
Big boost for them, certainly, to get those points on the board. For Ricky Ray to get a little bit of continuity, as you said, finally picking up not just one, but a couple of first downs along the way on that drive, maybe get into something of a rhythm.
And Rogers was 0 for 1 in field goals last week, so there you go, his first Canadian Football League field goal after bouncing around the National Football League. And some encouraging signs. You see Trevor Harris just to the left, who started every other game for the Argos this season, and by most accounts did a very admirable job. I mean, it was an MOP conversation really up until the more recent weeks. 5 interceptions in the last 3 games. But, you know, and we discussed this, that the move to Ray isn't so much a knock against Trevor Harris as if you have someone who's a surefire Hall of Famer and you have a chance to put him in. I think that changes the dynamic as well.
Yeah, I think that really is the case. It's has nothing really to do with losing faith in Trevor Harris, but you look at Ricky Ray's body of work, and you just have to ask yourself, how do you keep him on the bench if he's ready to play?
Chris Rainey on this kickoff return with the flag coming down. He gets it up to the 30, and an injured Argo slow to get up. And that's Martin Wright, and finally does.
During the return, illegal block. BC number 83, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Stephen Adekolu called on that illegal block to push the Lions deeper. So far, Jonathan Jennings has had great field position to work with. This will be his 4th drive, and the deepest in his own territory by far. That ball will be scrimmaged at the Lions' 16-yard line.
We'll see if the Argos become a little bit more aggressive defensively and try and send a little bit of pressure after Jonathan Jennings, given the field position here, an attempt to make something happen.
23 years of age, and this young man has been very poised so far. The CFL QB, and that one dropped by Lavelle Hawkins, and would have got them up to first down at the 30, so 2nd and 10.
Jonathan Jennings has made 5 starts. He's a BC Lion. We'll compare it to some other BC Lions in their first 5. Dickinson, McManus, Printers top the list. I see somebody got bumped down.
Uh-oh. Well, our friend has had his place high on many, many lists as a great CFL quarterback. That year, 1988, Matt's first with the Lions. They went to the Grey Cup. Casey Printers in 04, they went to the Grey Cup as well. That great year that he had. And I recall Danny McManus going to the Grey Cup too back in 1994 as a backup to Kent Austin before taking over the starters.
If this is any indication of things to come for Jonathan Jennings, BC Lions will be very, very happy to have this young man.
So this will be the last play of the first quarter, and it'll see Chad Owens back by himself to take this punt from Richie Leone, who is standing at his 5. A good first quarter for the Lions with a touchdown and a field goal, but the Argos answering back both on offense and defense, and a good punt here, chasing Owens inside his 40. Sneaks up along the short side and gets it closer to midfield. So a good place to start for Ricky Ray in the second quarter. A touchdown to Lavelle Hawkins. They added a field goal. Oh, Halloween is coming. The Argos trailing the Lions. Dynamic duo indeed, right there. Through one quarter of play at the Rogers Center, it is the visiting Lions leading by 6. There's your first quarter stats, Dwayne.
Well, it's the rushing yards for the BC Lions. I'm a little bit surprised not to see Andrew Harris more involved early in this football game. But Rod, I just wanted to let you know, I just want you to feel welcome. I want you to feel comfortable here in the studio, like you're in familiar surroundings.
Well, I appreciate that, so I want the same for you. So let's see. I've often been called Rod Black.
I think so. Scariest costumes in the place.
And I never thought I'd find someone whose head was bigger than mine, evidently. Deontay Spencer on the reverse to start the second quarter. Boy, this Argos offense is waking up right now. Spencer taking it down on that first play of the quarter to the Lions, 34. So Toronto's in business again, just like that.
And what a nice find Deontay Spencer has been for these Toronto Argonauts. Another speedy weapon to add. The guy with the kick return skill set. Just a quick sweep. Ricky Ray on the roll in the toss. A couple nice blocks along the way, but it's all about using the speed of Deontay Spencer.
Gain of 25 to the BC 36. Argos down 6. Ricky Ray on this first down, handing off to Whitaker. No, a play fake, and dumping it off. A good gain on first down, taking that as Deontay Spencer. With the big gain before, down to the 29-yard line. Lions.
Spencer's a guy who first got into this Toronto Argonaut lineup when Chad Owens was banged up, and he's sort of Chad Owens light. A guy who's a dynamic return guy, a smaller receiver. Very good after the catch. And impressed so much during Owens' absence that it's been hard for them to keep him off the roster ever since.
We wonder how a veteran like Ray would mesh, how long it would take with all these new receivers. Tory Gurley being disciplined and not playing tonight, but a lot of new ones in contact before the ball comes in, and a flag does come out as certainly Hazelton is looking for it too. This will be interference against the Lions.
Yeah, absolutely no question on this one. As Stephen Clark tried to come through the receiver, Hazelton, to get to the football.
Pass interference. BC number 23. 10-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Talking about receivers that Ray had never worked with before, there is Hazelton. Kevin Elliott is another one, and Deontay Spencer, and Brandon Whitaker for that matter.
Hazelton lines up out wide on this one as he tries to come back to the ball. Stephen Clark is trying to beat him to the spot, but Hazelton has position. No way to get there without going through him. Easy call for the officials.
And there's another receiver in the Argo lineup making his debut, number 80, Phil Bates, taking the spot of Tory Gurley. Scott Milanovich is sitting down this week. So on the first down, on the interference call, quick toss to Anthony Coombs with some speed to get around the corner, and he keeps dancing near the end zone. Finally taken out. Eric Fraser is there, but not before. He'll make it first and goal for the Argos at around the 5-yard line.
Anthony Coombs battled some injuries last year, but you're getting an indication with a healthy Coombs this season why he was picked so high in last year's draft, and why he was considered undisputed the top skill player in that 2014 class. A very dangerous weapon, a guy who averaged over 7 yards a carry through his career as a running back at the University of Manitoba. Played primarily as a slot here for the Argos. But as you see, he's one of those Swiss Army knife type guys. He can hurt you in a lot of different ways.
So the Argos have first and goal. They are 5 yards away from taking the lead in this game for the first time. And this is back-to-back impressive drives by Toronto's offense, which, as mentioned, looked like it's woken up after a pretty sleepy first quarter where they were going 2 and out most of the way. And on the first down, Ray to pass, and quickly for Elliott, but no, little off target, and it falls incomplete in the end zone.
They had Chad Owens kind of clearing with a quick under route. Ray progresses through the reads to the outside, just a little out of the reach of Kevin Elliott. Big receiver had inside position there on coverage.
And I said the Argos trying to take their first lead. That is with the assumption that they would get a conversion, whether 1 or 2. A mere touchdown would put them into a 9-9 tie. First they have to get there, though, and trying again on second down. Ray takes off, and that's no go. He takes a hit, too, down around the 4-3 yard line. And so a short field goal try as the special teams unit does come out for Toronto.
A promising drive with a disappointing end regardless for the Toronto Argonauts. BC turned up the heat a little bit there on second down. First hard shot we've seen Ricky Ray take in his return seems no worse for wear.
And that's the thing you're going to look for as well, aren't you? Especially shoulder.
Yeah, no question.
Jake Rogers, 1 for 1 in the field goal department tonight. Hit one earlier from 34. This one from about 12 yards away, and a little chip shot up and through. So 3 more points on the board for the Argos, still trailing by 3 here in Wendy's Friday Night Football.
Before you buy a truck, know where it stands. Ram is the longest lasting pickup in Canada. Ram Heavy Duty. It tows 2 tons more than the F-350. And Ram 1500 is 13% more fuel efficient than the F-150 EcoBoost. Outstanding. Ram, Canada's best-selling line of diesel pickups. Ram, the most fuel-efficient pickup ever. Guts, glory, Ram.
What happens when you make that single donation? You support your community and help food banks across Canada. And if everyone pitches in, those single donations can grow and grow. Since 2003, Pure Later Tackle Hunger has helped raise over 8 million pounds of food for local communities. Let's all get involved and help give back to the places where we live, work, and play. Together, we can make a single donation grow into something great. Pure Later Tackle Hunger. A promise we can all help deliver.
Installing brake pads with Napa know-how. First, grab your Napa Adaptive Ones. Retract piston, install clip and apply grease. Slide the new pad into place. Oh, it's getting chilly. Go grab a heavier coat. Now reinstall the caliper. Boom, done. Looks like you could use some new gloves, too. Conquer the job like you conquer life with Napa know-how.
Penny, Sheldon, Leonard, and the gang are moving to a new day. The Big Bang Theory. That's Thursdays at 7 Central, followed by the Goldbergs on CTV. The night before Halloween. And a James Yurichuk fan, too, 47. Ready for tonight and ready for tomorrow, too, Dwayne.
Absolutely, looks good. Not a real scary bear.
Not as scary as James Yurichuk. Off that kickoff and a 12-yard field goal by Jake Rogers of the Argos. It's Chris Rainey, and a good return happening here. Rainey finally taken down by Isaiah Green, but not before he got inside the Argonaut 50. How often have we seen that guy make a big return for the Lions this year?
Well, Chris Rainey has really been a spark plug for the team this year, essentially a swap with the Montreal Alouettes. Rainey joins the BC Lions. Steph Logan going from BC to Montreal. Both these guys have had huge impacts in the return game, and Rainey starting to find a little bit of a niche on offense, as you saw last week as well.
Bought the ball at the Argo 49, so this is a good way for the Lions to answer back. They stalled in their last possession. Jennings to Andrew Harris. And tries to bull his way for more yardage down to the 42, and then more still at his feet. Up near a first down. How about that for second, third, and fourth effort for Andrew Harris, and a gain of 11 yards.
Well, Rod, we've talked a lot about the big boost in stats from these two guys, Lavelle Hawkins and Manny Arsenault. Watch how coverage goes with those two guys on the weak side and the amount of space that it opens up underneath for Andrew Harris. Linebackers drop deep to try and take Arsenault out of the game because they know he's been the go-to guy. Suddenly Andrew Harris has a little bit more room to operate.
Inside the 40. Lions up by 3. Jennings with time to throw and dumps it off for Hawkins again. And he drops the ball, and do the Argos have it? They say they do. Toronto football, after a first down catch by Lavelle Hawkins, who's slow to get up, coughs up the ball, and another big turnover for the Argonauts.
Hawkins takes a bit of a shot there from Lang on the way down, but big turnover there created by the Argo D.
Toronto football when we come back. Lions receiver, Lavelle Hawkins, favoring his right shoulder after fumbling the football on that last play.
Yeah, Hawkins kind of gets crunched here. It's nice pursuit on the play. Watch number 90, Cleon Lang, in the middle of your screen, defensive tackle. Great pursuit back from the line of scrimmage to track down the receiver. He delivers the hit that jars the ball loose. Kind of crunches Hawkins underneath him on the landing.
And the second time the Lions have turned over the ball in this game. So Ray hands off this time, and not much doing for Brandon Whitaker. Hardly any gain at all. Ricky Ray, by the way, coming into this possession, completing 10 for 12 for 81 yards, and looked especially good in the last couple of possessions after a slow start.
Yeah, starting to pick up momentum, certainly. And typical Ricky Ray numbers in terms of that completion percentage, but again, not big yards. So we haven't seen them try to stretch the field at all.
That's where we're wondering, will we see him try that deeper play to see if the shoulder has it? Looking downfield now under pressure, and they've got him. Ricky Ray taken down. David Menard is there. Good pressure for the Lions, and the Argos will be punting.
Well, this Lions defense has really started to pick it up in terms of their pass rush in recent weeks. David Menard, rotation guy, he's in the middle of that D line. Versatile player, former University of Montreal star. He's provided them with depth behind Jabbar Westerman that's allowed them to start a Canadian on that D line.
Second time Ray is sacked in this game. A good punt by Rogers. Chases Rainey back inside his 35. And Chris Rainey breaks a tackle and still on the move up near the BC 49. A 9-6 Lions lead. Jonathan Jennings comes back on. A record of 2-3 as a starter for BC since taking over after an injury to John Beck.
Andrew Harris, the big game last week, season high, 119 yards on the ground. As I mentioned off the top, he's been much quieter in the passing game in recent weeks. But good to see the CFL's leading rusher, who has had some ups and downs this season, with a big outing.